Hey guys, this is Crusher045 here, picking up where we left off last time. We're about to start the second mission. This mission is a lot more interesting than the first one. There's a lot more to do. The first mission is very limiting. You don't have the ability to build any sorts of structures. Everything is very limited, and what you could do, it's mostly combat related. This one's going to be very well rounded. In fact, I think this is one of the more interesting missions early on. It gets better as it goes along, like I said, so stick with me if you haven't. If you haven't seen the first episode, there will be a link for the playlist and the first episode in the description. For those of you wondering about the difficulty I'm playing on, I'm of course playing on moderate, just because I want to be able to get through the campaign without worrying too much about the difficulty of it and trying to fight my way in it. I'm just trying to make a simple playthrough of the campaign so you get to see the way the game works. And in the future, perhaps I'll do single battles that are on hard or Titan, for the sake of showing you those sorts of things, but this is just most of the campaign. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Perhaps setting out on this errand really was all that was needed to appease Poseidon. Black sails! Port side! And he leads us to Kamos, too. Archers, ready your bows! Prepare to come about! They're going to pay for insulting Poseidon and Atlantis.
Πρόσεχε. Μάλιστα.
Έτοιμος. Βουφορβός.
Πρόσταγμα. Έστω.
Léger. Έτοιμος. Ναι. Μάλιστα. Έστω.
So the idea here is basically this, to explore the island. You gotta build up a little bit and things like that. So I'm just exploring around, trying to find stuff, such as shipwrecks and things like that on the coast, which will allow me to, get more money and resources. Essentially though, this game is very straightforward.
Έτοιμος. Ορθός.
I think
Ορθός.
that most of these missions are straightforward. I think this is more interesting than others. I think this is one of the more interesting missions because it teaches you how to level up early on, things like that. As you can see, I found a shipwreck, so I got wood and gold. Very helpful for the future. I am gonna send these guys back though because I'm a little bit worried about what's gonna happen.
Έτοιμη. Βουφορβός.
Λέγε θρητόμος.
What I mean by worried, of course, is that I'm worried about enemies finding their way in and then, not being able to
Λέγε
defend
πάνω.
my...
Ορθός.
Because that happens in this mission.
Βούλομαι.
So a little more of a personal talk that I'd like to do. When I played this game when I was younger, of course, I always had the issue where I was so focused on the mission, I really didn't know what I was doing. It was kind of awkward, and I felt really awkward about it. And of course, it's one of those things that you get better with as you go along. Years later, it's really easy. But when you're, 10, 11, it's pretty tough to effectively do. And so, I'm not ashamed to say that I've gotten a lot better at this game than I was when I first started, but, sometimes you have to come to that realization. But, that's just how it goes, and things like that. So obviously I picked Ares as my minor god here because I wanted the ability to use the Cyclops that he provides because it's a very devastating myth unit for crush ability. And as you have seen probably before, if you've watched other Age of Mythology videos, or if this is your first time, the way that Cyclops work compared to other units is that certain abilities and certain attacks are linked with certain characters. So if you look here, they have they do crush damage and hack damage. The difference is that they face different types of enemies more effectively. So the difference between Crush and Hack, Crush is very good against buildings and stuff like that. Since my mission is to destroy the town center, first and foremost, I'm going to use that, obviously, as my means of effectively destroying it without having to worry too much about it. So that's really all there is to that right now. At the moment, I'm just training up villagers. I'm trying to get resources. I'm trying to basically keep everything going.
Έτοιμη.
Nice and slow.
Θηρευτής.
Alright, let's see. I need a couple more
Λέγε.
builders, perhaps. Yeah, I'm gonna build a military academy, get some more troops
Nice.
trained, and things like that.
Λέγε.
Of course, more houses.
Βούλομαι.
Yeah, so when I was younger too, I think a lot of people are kind of this way. I didn't realize how important villagers were in this game. To the point where I would build enough. I always had like a set number. I would do, say, 5 for each resource, but that's not enough. You need a very, very large amount for each resource.
Πρόσεχε.
And it's come to me over the years that you need to just slowly build that number.
Πρόσταγμα.
If you try to rush into it all at once, it's not going to work as well.
Έστω.
If you try to, force it,
Πρόσταγμα.
it's not going to work.
Λέγε.
So you just have to be
Λέγε.
very patient with it, very, calm with it, and eventually it will work out. So I'm thinking,
Έτοιμη.
as I play along the campaign, what I might do eventually
Ναι. Βούλομαι. Ναι.
is
Μάλιστα.
make a sort of like what I do sort of thing. Tell you about like different techniques and strategies you can use for missions, if that's popular enough.
Λέγε.
But of course, I'm not going to do anything if people don't want to see it.
Με τα λε.
Just
Πρόσεχε.
leave a comment in the description about
Θηρευτής.
your what you'd like to see done in the future. Keep in
Έτοιμος.
contact. Just a very small channel, as you can see. So, you leave a comment, I'm probably going to respond. Just give me your feedback, anything that you want to know or hear about or anything like that. Just let me know. I'd be happy to respond, and perhaps we can learn something from one another.
Έτοιμος.
All right.
Λέγε. Έστω. Ναι. Βούλομαι. Πρόσεχε.
Έτοιμη. Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσεχε. Θηρευτής. Λέγε. Πάνι. Βούλομαι. Πάνι. Ορθώς. Πάνι. Βούλομαι. Πάνι. Πρόσταγμα. Πρόσταγμα. Βούλομαι. Πρόσταγμα. Βούλομαι. Έτοιμος. Βούλομαι.
Έτοιμη. Έστω.
Πρόσταγμα. Πρόσεχε. Μάλιστα. Βούλομαι. Μάλιστα. Ναι.
So I'm launching my final attack here.
Ναι.
I'm basically going to march straight in. We're going to go straight for the heart of the
μάχη.
enemy base.
Πρόσταγμα. Εις μάχη.
Just as is. I don't think there's
Έτοιμος.
a point in wasting any more time. I've got all the units that I need.
Έτοιμος.
Πρόσταγμα. Καλώς. Πρόσεχε.
Yeah, Arcantus' ability basically, shout, it'll charge up all of the
Πρόσεχε.
allies near him, and I think that's a really important ability.
Λέγε.
So, it's one of the best abilities in the game. Of course, being that as it is, in the regular old gameplay, you can't actually use that ability, and so it makes it a little trickier. Alright, so I got a little closer, but that's fine. I've got some that I've trained.
A hero has fallen.
That's fine. We'll just build up more over here then and try again. But at least I've gotten some inroads, that's the important thing. So all I'll have to do next is just launch another attack. But that's why I'm training more and more troops, because the more troops I train, the better chance I'm gonna have of a successful attack.
Πρόσταγμα. Ορθώς.
I think upgrades are underrated. The AI never really does them. I think they're underrated. I think some of these upgrades are really, really important. The professional players of this game, of course, aren't going to use them as often as, like... Well, I should say they're going to use them, but they're not going to use them so much that they go to every research possible. They'll pick the ones that they think are the most important, and that's probably the best way to play it. I just have a very different way of going about it than most. So, yeah, be that as it may, I think that you know, the gameplay of this game can be quite fun. In fact, like I said, this is my favorite between Age of Empires and Age of Mythology. This is my favorite. I just think that it offers a very unique experience. Age of Empires to me always felt kind of like every empire was too similar. And that might be because I played the original edition of it, but they all felt very similar to me. And Mythology offers something like each little major god chooses a distinction, and that distinction can really change the face of the game. I think it's interesting, at least in the sense of like what's possible. You know, perhaps I'm just reading too much into it, but I don't know, I always thought it was interesting.
Πρόσταγμα. Έτοιμη. Μάλιστα. Βρυτόμος.
My personal favorite
Πρόσεχε.
myth god to play as in this game is definitely Loki in the Norse. I think the Norse offers the most unique experience with military troops building instead of regular old civilians. I think that's just a very interesting thing. You know, you don't see that in any other real-time strategy game where the military builds and the civilians just gather stuff. But that's the way the Norse work. I think it's a neat little concept, and it works. It just works for whatever reason. And that's my favorite thing about it, I think, is that it just seems like it shouldn't be the way it is, but, you know, because of that, it actually is quite fun to do. And like I said, I don't think I've said this, but I know it to be very true. The campaign essentially lets you play as every single god and every single group at some point. Something I didn't realize the first time I played it through, but it is really cool that is the case. You don't just see Poseidon the whole time. Poseidon is just the beginning. Eventually you change into other ones. So just if you pay attention to what it says here, you'll notice it changes between levels and different scenarios. Things like that. It offers a really unique way of getting to feel every single civ, or I should say civ, myth group, and that just feels really good for the sake of like, playing a single game later on. It just makes it really easy to get right in because you've already played as all of them. So the campaign offers like a tutorial and a good gameplay concept. That's my personal opinion on the matter. And
Έτοιμη. Πρόσταγμα.
I think that
Έστω. Πρόσεχε.
there's probably going to be some
Ναι.
out there that disagree
Πρόσεχε.
with me and think that it
Ναι.
is
Πρόσεχε.
a really poor campaign, and you know,
Πρόσταγμα.
you can make that
Ναι.
argument, and I'm happy to hear it out, actually.
Ναι.
I actually think
Έτοιμη.
this is a really good
Μάλιστα.
story.
Λέγε. Ναι.
And I think it's pretty well thought out.
Πρόσεχε. Λέγε. Πρόσταγμα.
And these enemy fights are the worst. They really are.
A hero has fallen.
Λέγε χώρο. Καλώς.
Guys, this is my final push for the end of this mission here. Let's see if we can do it this time. Not embarrass myself again as last time.
Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσταγμα, λέγε, βούλομαι. Καλώς.
Λέγε. Καλώς. Λέγε. Πρόσταγμα. Deimos is fleeing from the town center. After him.
Πρόσταγμα. Εισβολή. Εισβολή.
Léger. Ναι. Εισβολή. Léger. Ναι. Μάλιστα. Έστω. Βούλουμε. Μάλιστα. Έστω. Εισβολή.
Sometimes the pathfinding, as you saw there, is really bad. So let's hope we can actually do enough damage to him to end this mission that I don't want to continue doing. There we go. That should be the end here.
Another time, Arcantos. Your luck will end. I will be there to see it. Your head will hang from my mast, Atlantean!
At least one of Poseidon's children still favors our enemies. Load the Trident aboard the transport. We'll send it back to Atlantis immediately.
Alright guys, that'll do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this one a little more. I tried to be a little more talkative, talk about the game a little bit more and things like that. Of course, I'm still learning how to do this. I'm still very new to it. I have a very small channel, so if you are interested in this and you want to see this channel continue and see things like this continue, just please subscribe and comment and let me know for feedback and things like that. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. If you disagree with me on anything I've said, feel free to let me know. And I'm always happy to hear opposing views. In the next episode, we'll continue right along with the story. And, that should be coming out all in a row pretty much. The upload schedule, as you can see, is basically going to be just whenever I finish the missions and do them in this way. And so, expect it to be about one a day, but don't get, necessarily stuck on that idea that it has to be one a day, because it might be more frequently or less frequently than that. So until next time, this has been Crusher045. I hope you enjoyed this, and this is me signing off for now.